Okay guys, time to roll some dice. So we've got our first of our attributes here. We've got a bunch of different elements here. We've got an icon setting up the frame. We've got a label. We've got another label. We've got a checkbox, and we've got our number field. So it's a number field here that's doing the rolling. So what we want to do is simply come down here to roll, and we want to add the dice roll string here of 2d6. I want to allow it to be drag and drop. That's cool. The roll description text is a strength. Is my strength roll, and I want to hide the roll widget. I don't want the little dice symbol to be on here. So if I do that and I give that a push, we should get a rollable element on our character sheet. It should be pretty simple. It'll just roll 2d6 and won't do anything else. So rolling this one, 2d6, we got 8, no modifiers, nothing else. It's sent through our description of strength. So far so good. Let's add some extra scripting and stuff in there. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is we want to add the modifiers. So strength, you got a high strength, you'll add some modifiers to the roll. So what we do is we do an onBeforeDiceRoll. So we pick onBeforeDiceRoll from this drop-down list and we add it. Now I've prepared a little bit of code. So local node characters window.getDatabase node. This is going to find the character sheet node in the database. In attribute is going to get the value, because I haven't set, this isn't doing anything from the database. This is simply going to get the value from the field here. So if my strength is 15, it's going to get 15. And I'm going to set a attribute modifier, so variable, and I'm just going to set it at 0. So we're going to, what we need to do is set some values for the attribute modifier. So like 18 strength gives you +3, 3 strength gives you -3, and there's a range in between. So of course I've cheated and written this already. What we're doing is if the attribute is less than 4, it will give it, we'll set the modifier to -3. If the attribute is less than 6, set to -2, less than 9, set it to -1. If the attribute is greater than 17, we'll set it to +3. If it's greater than 15, we'll set it to +2. If it's greater than 12, we'll set it to 1. Otherwise, we'll leave it as is. Now we've got to do something with that extra information that we've captured. So if the attribute modifier is greater than 0, then dice roll string. Now this is a variable that's created by the Ruleset wizard when we add roll values to it. So we don't have to declare this or anything. It's already in there. So when when the attribute modifier is greater than 0, then the dice roll string equals 2d6 plus the attribute modifier. Easy. Else, if the attribute modifier is less than 0, then the dice roll string is 2d6. And then because this number is a minus, the minus will be already on the string, so it'd be 2d6, and then we're adding -3. So 2d6 -3. And then otherwise, if it's not greater than 0 and it's not less than 0, i.e. at 0, then the dice roll string just stays 2d6. So let's push that out and see what happens. Alright, boot up our character. Got a strength of 5, so that's pretty pissy. Ha, my goodness. We rolled snake eyes, so we were doomed from the start. But our strength of 5 gives us a -2 as well, so it's 2d6 -2, so we get a 0. We'll roll that one more time. The gods do not favour Fatagan just now. Let's make this 16. So that should be a +2. And we'll try that roll again. So 3 + 3 + 2, 8. So that's working quite well. What we want to do next is, if this checkbox is ticked, we want to do a -1 modifier. And we also want to declare that it's because of this debility. So we've got strength, yeah, the debility is weak. Constitution, I think it's sick. So we want to capture the name of this as well. So that took me a little bit of tweaking, but we'll add some code in for that now. So this code here isn't going to change. I'm still going to be working with the attribute modifier. I've got to first set the attribute modifier with the strength value. Now I'm going to modify or update that attribute value if the debility is checked. So sname get name, so that's the name of our role. In this case, that field there is called strength. So we've got strength. I've got plenty of debugging here because this took a little bit. Our debility is strength underscore debility, and that's the name of this field. So this field is called strength underscore debility, or constitution underscore debility, or dexterity underscore debility. We can get rid of some more debug. Now the local string debility, so we're wanting to get the name of this field. So it's strength from here, strength underscore debility underscore label. Next, we want to get the text that's displayed in here. Now I'm trying to use variables in here so that I can just copy and paste the code when it's done. So stability equals window. So we're not taking this from the database because this value is not in the database. The checkbox is in the database, but this is just a label. The label is just a it doesn't store anything in the database. So we've got stability equals window, so that's our visual layout versus our database. Window, and now this syntax here with the square brackets is how we use a variable in the path name. So window dot strength underscore debility underscore label dot get value, and that's hopefully going to return weak. All right. Now, if our debility is equal to 1, so if this checkbox is checked, then we're going to, it's always a -1, so we're going to modify our attribute modifier by -1. So modifier equals modifier -1, and then this is another value or variable created by the Ruleset wizard. We're just going to append the debility name in there. So instead of sending just strength to the chat window, we're going to send strength and then in brackets weak if he has that debility. And then this is still going to continue on as it was. We're not going to change any of the rest of this code. Alright, let's push that. Now, your character can have the debility when they've got quite a high value here still, right? So if I'm strength 16, I don't have the debility weak enabled. If I run this, it should just be dice roll +2. But something has happened. Fatagan has had a spell cast on him that weakens him. We check this checkbox, and when we roll, instead of getting a +2 from our modifier, it should be +2 -1. So we can see here 2d6 +1. And instead of just declaring the role name as strength, it's now strength and then in brackets weak to indicate that the debility played a factor in this particular role. Alright, we're going to now take this one step further. What we have to do now is we want to look at the dice results after they land and then declare a result from that. So what we do is we need a result handler function name. So what we're going to do over here in campaign, I'm going to create a folder, call it script, and I'm going to call it script, we're going to call it scripts with an S. Okay, and in here we're going to create a script called role manager. Okay, I think my computer needs a reboot. It's going to be called manager role. we're going to call this function, and the Ruleset wizard sends 3 set variables to it, or 3 arrays, 3 strings. So we've got our source, our target, and our role. And I think actually this needs to be manager roles, not role. Okay. Anyway, function attribute role. What we're going to do here is do something pretty simple. We're just going to set some debug up in here. Debug.chat. Send that info to it and end the function, and we'll see what data we get sent there. Alright, push this out. Probably this isn't going to work because I have it's probably not going to work because in here I haven't put my result handler function in yet. Manager roles dot attribute role. Alright, so manager roles is the script name and attribute role is the function name. Let's try and push that one again. Fire up for Targan. Let's roll this. Okay, a heap of information is being sent here. So the first thing that we want is we want to get the total. So our total was S total, but there's another one in here, N total. That's the one we want. So, and this is from, so this first section up here to the first pipe command is the first variable. Up to the second pipe command is the second variable, and up to the end here is the third variable. So we had our source, which was our character, our target, we don't have a target, and then our role. So all this information here is in our role. So if we want to reference N total, we do our role.nTotal. So let's grab that. We're going to go with something like if okay. Alright, so we're going to save the role.nTotal in our variable called nTotal. We're going to set up a blank variable called sResult, and if our dice total is 10 or greater, we're going to set sResult to success. If it's greater than 7, so this is probably, I think it should be greater than 6, so 7, 8, 9 will be a success with cost. Otherwise, sResult is a failure. Okay, that's great, we've stored that, but what we need to do now is create a message for chat. We need to tell Fantasy Grounds to send this information to the chat. Alright, so I've added some extra code in here. So we've declared this R message, and we've used actionsmanager.createActionMessage. We're going to send it our source and our role, which are being sent to this function by the Ruleset wizard. So that our source is our actor, and our role is the results of the dice roll. So it's going to start building up a message. And here we've got the code where we are adding in our specific messages, and then we're going to append our specific message as a result to the text that was already created by the actions manager, create action message. And then we're going to deliver the message, and we're going to return the function as true. So let's push that out. fire up for target. Okay, so we can see the debility is on at the moment, so we should have a +2 and a -1. Oh, snake eyes again. Okay, so we've still got all our debug in here, but we can see strength, debility weak. We've got a failure, mark experience, because we rolled awfully. Let's take the debility off and re-roll. And we've got 4 + 4 + 2, that's 10, so we've got a success. So we can see here 2 of the different messages, and there's obviously the third message, success with cost. Alright, that's awesome. So that roll, is mostly done. We probably want to also allow at some point modifiers to be rolled. Maybe we'll do that in the next video. Alright, cheers, see you soon.